guys, this is Jacqui Cooper with JCooperTravels, and today I have a very special guest on. I appreciate everyone coming on and listening to the podcast. Alfonso, actually, I connected with on LinkedIn, and we have a lot of mutual interests. We believe in providing service to others, and he's done a lot in his short time in terms of career and college. Alfonso, thank you so much for being on. I really appreciate your being on the podcast. How are you doing today?
Good. Thanks for asking. How about yourself?
Good, thank you. I know that, one of our areas that we're going to be talking about is travel, but we're also going to be talking about what you've done in college. Share a little bit more with those that are listening as to where you grew up and where you are now. And, just kind of share a little bit more about some of your interests.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. So as you mentioned, where I grew up, I was born in the United States, but when I was a few months old, I left the country with my family to Mexico, where I lived for 8 years. Then after 8 years, we decided to move back to the United States. In '05, it was when I came back, and ever since I've been here. I live in California, in Santa Monica to be specific. There I went from first grade all the way to high school, and now I'm in college. I go to Chico State University, where I'm studying business. I'm double majoring in project management and management information systems. How I think of management information systems, it's like computer science and business together, because we have to use some of the computer science techniques and languages to be able to fulfill our needs. What I'm currently doing now is I'm the president of Delta Sigma Pi. It's a professional business fraternity. It's an international business fraternity. So we are international. And what we do is pretty much we're a group of students who want to be surrounded by like-minded individuals, people who study business, any focus in business, who want to do more than just go to school. What I mean by that is help others. We do community service events, fundraising events. A lot of our brothers have held nice positions on campus, really big positions like AS president, leads on campus, vice presidents and presidents for other clubs. But essentially your end goal is pretty much to get a degree, right? And then obtain a job or an internship while you're going to school. And by joining this organization, you're able to be with like-minded individuals who help you be successful. And some of my experience comes from being surrounded by people who've started their own businesses while in college, who've won competitions here in college, and who've gotten some of the greatest internships with some great companies, some big companies like Big Four companies, top 500. And that's the kind of thing that we do. The biggest thing for us is the social aspect, the brotherhood. It's something that it's so valuable to us because I'm sure you've heard the saying, it's not what you know, it's who you know. Oftentimes, to get in front of the door, you'll need a connection with somebody. And the biggest thing I would say is networking. I'm a really big fan of networking. That would definitely get you in the door, but just conversating with somebody or just like interacting with somebody, you don't have to know that person or know certain things to go in that industry. Oftentimes, being the president, I get asked, how can I apply to this internship? Or how did you get this internship? I'm not qualified. I don't have anything on my resume. How can I do it? And I often tell them, you don't have to go into a company, or you don't have to apply to a company and not know anything about it. Don't discourage yourself. You should go after everything and then learn there. Because oftentimes internships are meant for you to practice, for you to learn. So you're not going to be fired just because you don't know something. It's for you to learn and advance and for you to like gain knowledge. And that's what I often tell people. And I stick to that. I myself, since I've started college, I've been able to have 5 internships, one being in Europe, in Spain, where I studied abroad. And I've had all this experience because I've gone after what I've wanted. I've never given up. I've applied. My first internship that I ever got, I applied to 25 internships and I got 2 offers out of those 25 internships. And some people say like, oh, I applied to like 2 or 3, but I didn't get any. And what I say, it's sometimes a numbers game. You have to put yourself out there. In order to get something back, you have to put yourself out there. It's like our business fraternity, our organization. If you join our organization and you just sit there, then you're not going to get anything out of it. You have to take on roles. You have to conversate with people, interact, go to events, network with people. I kind of often say it's like a soccer game. You know, would you rather be playing in the game or be standing in the sideline? And that's kind of what I'm about. And yeah, that's who we are.
I love everything that you shared from the perspective of both the painting the picture of the soccer game and, you know, deciding whether you want to be in the game or on the sideline, and everything that you've talked about in terms of what has inspired you. I know that you've looked up to different individuals. Do you want to mention any of the individuals that have inspired you for, you know, the path that you're on?
Yeah, definitely. I've had many people throughout my life come and help me, give me some valuable advice, or, you know, just help me overall to get where I am. One of the biggest people I look up to and closest to me, I would say, is my father. He's somebody that I look up to. If you ask me, we're very alike in the things that we do. Since I lived in Mexico, I got to see how he grew up, and my mom as well. I come from both immigrant parents. They never went to elementary, middle school, high school, so they don't have any type of education. My mom being like, she doesn't know how to read or write to this day. So that's how far we came from. And I look up to my father just because he came here and he started working for a few years and then opened up his business. And I've been there since the first day he opened his business till now. And he's so successful. He's done projects that I love doing in construction, landscaping, big projects. And honestly, I love that. And now that he's leading a company, he's running a successful business that's currently going on. He has employees, he has a lot of connections and a lot of rapport with his customers. He is somebody that I really look up to, and that's where I get what I would say my values from, and my experience and my courage, because he's somebody that I want to be like. And if you ask me, like I mentioned, we both look alike. Act alike, sorry. What I'm doing now in college is exactly what he's doing, because he's always working, he's always hustling. And with my experience and everything that I've done, we could resemble.
I love that. I love the fact that, you know, you have such respect and love and admiration for your parents and your story. I mean, it's so inspiring, both from what they're doing, and I'm sure that, you know, there were different struggles as they became very successful, because success doesn't happen overnight. There's always, you know, things that a foundation that has to be laid in order to have the success. And I love the fact that you're taking it the next step, and that you're looking at both the business side as well as the ethics, and the morality, and just how he treats people. And you're taking all that and you're extending it. So that's really, very special. So is that why you decided to go into business, because of his background?
Yeah, definitely. I decided to go into business just because he was in the business industry, and I've always been interested since I was young. Maybe because I've always looked up to him and been next to him when he started his business. Although when I got to Chico State, when I started my first year, I transferred over to engineering, where I was a concrete industry management for a semester, and that's similar to construction. It's just more focused in concrete. And that's pretty much, with that major, you were going to get a business degree and an engineering degree. The reason why I didn't stick with that is because I felt like I didn't want to be doing that my whole life. And I wanted to travel as well. So that's why when I wanted to study abroad, business gave me more of an opportunity to go different places as opposed to being an engineer, because studying abroad was a big thing for me coming into college.
So your love of travel is also my love of travel. So I know you've gone many places. Why don't you share some of the places that you've gone, and maybe some of the special places that people might not normally know about, that they should, kind of check out when they visit. And then also, I always like to find out more about everyone's bucket list. So why don't you, I know I have a long list on my bucket list, but where have you been? Because I know you've traveled a lot of places.
Yeah, great question. Yeah, so I first started off by studying abroad in Spain, specifically in Bilbao. It's the northern peak of Spain. They call it the Basque Country. It's a very unique place. That place I really love because it's not a touristy place. It's more so you interact with the locals. I was literally from my apartment to the beach. I was like, I want to say 2 minutes or less.
Wow.
So I was right next to the beach, and it was awesome. I mean, the food, the culture, they're very social. They're very laid back. I loved it, honestly. Like, I wish I could have stayed longer, but I'm definitely going back. So that's one place I would recommend going, because that place I spent most of my time there. And from there, I traveled all around Spain, which was included Barcelona, Madrid, what is it called? Um, San Sebastian, and a few other cities. But one place that I really like, that it's kind of where I've been before, it's Barcelona. It reminds me of my hometown, Santa Monica, just because they're right next to the beach. It's very big city, and there's a lot to do. Honestly, while I was there was like everything you could do. I mean, it's like a city that never sleeps, you know? So it was one place that I really loved in Spain. From there, I traveled on to the UK, Germany, Italy, Andorra, um, Brussels, and Amsterdam. Um, and the one place I really liked, that I went with a few friends, was Andorra. Andorra is a small country in between France and Spain. There, I went snowboarding with a couple buddies from my program. And I've never been snowboarding or skiing before. So I had very rare contact with the snow before going there. So it was a great experience. It was something very unique, something that I really loved and enjoyed with my friends. Honestly, I would say I would want to go again, and I recommend going to this place. This is a very special place. Not a lot of people know about this place. I mean, I didn't know until I went with a couple buddies, and it's a very small country, like I said, in between Spain and France.
So I had not been aware of that country. Is it easy to get to there by plane, or do you have to drive there? What sort of public transportation goes there?
Yeah, so we took a bus from Bilbao to Andorra. I don't know if there's a airport. I think the closest airport would probably be the south of France.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so I would recommend going to an airport close to the south of France or the north of Spain, and just traveling by car, bus, whatever it is. I was fortunate enough to take part in this package deal for students and studying in Spain. It was about, I want to say like 250 euros for a whole week. Includes stay. We stayed in a hotel in the snow, literally like in the snow. It included rental, helmet, skis, everything, and then insurance, and then training lessons. So it was like a deal. Like, you know, it was like you don't get that like anywhere else. But yeah, definitely. I would say the best transportation would be through car or bus.
So where else have you gone? That was remarkable. Where else have you gone?
Other places that I've been to, about last year for spring break, decided to take a solo trip for a whole week, because usually students get that week off of school. So I decided, you know what, I want to travel. I want to travel somewhere. And I decided to travel to Mexico City. I've been to Mexico before, but where I grew up, it's nothing like anywhere else. And I've never been to Mexico City. So I went to Mexico City. And on there, I went by myself. Honestly, I went to the pyramids. It was awesome. I had awesome food, and I went all around where like the city, where the financial district is, at the companies. I saw everything from like the very nice parts to like the, you know, where the residents, the other people live. So I got to see everything. And it was an awesome place because I've seen both. I mean, living here in California, it's a nice, pretty state. And growing up in Mexico, where there's literally only dirt and there's one road to go to the main city, which takes like an hour. It was awesome seeing both. That's another place I've been by myself. One other country that I missed, and it's really awesome, is Portugal. Portugal is very awesome. I mean, it's cheap, it's nice. The culture is very awesome. The viewing's very awesome, and great food. I went there by myself as well. But after a few days, I ended up meeting up with a couple buddies that I went to school with. I went there for a week. I went to Lisbon first, and honestly, there it was pretty awesome because I've never been to Portugal and I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know there was a bridge made by the same architect and that made the Golden State Bridge.
Oh, wow.
Golden Gate Bridge, sorry, in San Francisco. So I thought I was in San Francisco again, you know, because I've been to San Francisco in California. But I was looking at the bridge and it looked exactly like if you were in San Francisco. So that was something awesome to see. And I really loved Portugal. That's one place that I recommend people go.
Those are definitely wonderful tips for travel. So for those that are not familiar with how a podcast is, there's usually a block of information text right above the podcast. So that way you can have contact information for JCooperTravels, as well as to reach Alfonso if you want to reach out to him to talk to him about his adventures. I also have information about my YouTube channel. So I'm asking everyone to subscribe both to the podcast as well as the YouTube channel. And the other thing that I'll share on the podcast in the block of information is access to my free wholesale member only travel booking portal, which is I Go for Less. So that way you can save up to 35% when you end up going on your excursions or hotels or cruises or any other place that you might travel globally. So definitely check out the free link there. And every time that you do activate the free link and then use, actually our foundation will donate meals to children around the world through Mana Relief and Children's International. So again, you will be helping families by using the I Go for Less portal, and we truly appreciate that. Alfonso, thank you so much for being on today. I look forward to learning more about your adventures. I appreciate you sharing more about your fraternity and all the wonderful work that they do, and also learning about your university, because obviously they have created a format and a foundation that gives you a lot of flexibility as students to decide what is best for you, and where there's a lot of really strong career choices. And in today's world, definitely we need more leaders like yourself. So thank you so much for being on the podcast. I look forward to hearing more about your travels.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Jacqui.